I can ask this. Hi, I'm here with Carlos Garcia Estevez from Manifesto
Poetico.
Poetico, and
Yeah.
he's going to talk about his company and his work.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim, to invite me to have this interview. Um, I'm a theater maker. I'm a stage director, actor. I'm also a teacher on movement theater, and I'm artistic director of Manifesto Poetico, laboratory of theater research. So I dedicate my time in researching about possible new theatrical languages. And then I'm based in Paris, where I also teach at the Laboratory of Study of Movement, LEM, which is based at the School of LeCoq in Paris. And between these and the rest of the time, I'm just traveling around doing different projects. Um, uh, my background or how I start to do theater right after I finish to study with Lecoq is the work on mask. My original interest was always the work of La Commedia dell'arte, which is the work of mainly the use of the mask. And I spent about 10 years doing that, and I've been traveling all over. Teaching mask performance, performing myself, and also directing shows. And then after 10 years, I realized that this style of theater which I love was not really talking to today, to the people and the society of today, not only in my own country, in Spain or in France or those countries that I knew well, but in general in different trips and traveling. You don't see this type of theater. So my main interest was to keep researching and see where this type of theater and the use of the mask, where is still alive, or where or how it could survive or talk to the audience of today. So what happened is that I kept going with my research on mask and the way they are made and the way they express in front of an audience, but I had an idea or an interest to maybe look for the abstraction of the mask, the abstraction of the object. So this abstraction, it took me into okay, what about if the mask is not the object made out of leather, for example, but the mask is just an expansion on the space where you don't see it, but we can identify that this is a big structure that we can call mask also. And with this, I could keep developing a research where nowadays the work I do is related with this original idea of a mask, but a mask that we don't see, but is there. So this is I think is a bit the resume of what I do.
When did you start the company, Manifesto?
The very original company was called Teatro Punto, and I founded in 1998 while I was studying with Lecoq in Paris. Actually, it was provoked by him that he said, hey, you should go and research about the tragical depth that exists in La Commedia dell'arte. This is the original task. And I got that provocation from him, and then I went until 2010, 2011, that I just shift, and then I said, well, this type of work with mask, it has to be changed, so I start Manifesto Poetico in 2011, where the mask or the core of my research on mask took me to many different styles of theater. So nowadays I don't only do mask or commedia dell'arte, which I call contemporary commedia dell'arte, but I do clown and I do tragedy, melodrama. I use many different disciplines, and I love because I get people that come from different fields and disciplines that are helping me, people like architects or filmmakers, musicians, physicians, painters. So it's way more rich, and I still using mask as object. So I just play myself as a commedia actor, but then the precision of the mask, the concreteness of the mask, the way the mask is impacting immediately an audience, as we know, for those that we already saw some of this theater. It's very interesting to keep this as a reference for a theater that is not going to use a mask, but is going to try to be in a mask dimension. You know, where the space, in a way, the space that the mask is moving, is going to move the story, and not the actor moving the story. So for me, it's very interesting to see that. And this is also a question that we always have in the LEM in Paris at the School of Lecoq, which is how is the impact of the body on the space and the constructive space also, and all the different questions. Because it's very often that I hear in my own experience, like, oh, all right, you just project your voice on the space, or project yourself on the space, feel the space, you know, take the space, and then, yeah, but how?
Right.
For me, this is the question. I'm Spanish, and I'm from Madrid, and I take things very serious, like, you know, and then I say, well, yeah, but how? I don't feel the space. I don't feel myself the space, you know. But what about if we create a language, or we formulate several elements that we already know, but you know, like a fixed point on the space, or like a space that is compressed or expand, elements that we already know, and that are also used in other disciplines. But what about if we take those elements and we try to really see, to really touch, to really help the actor to see the space that is constructed and that creates certain conflicts on the space where emotions can circulate. So this is very interesting for me. And the great thing is that you don't finish it. You are all the time discovering new things. And then for me as an artist, the main thing is that I know nothing. I just don't know anything. Because yesterday when I thought that I knew, tomorrow I'm like, no, I don't know. So then it's great because I'm in a constant journey of discovering or learning. So the curiosity is every time more and more. And then I meet students that are just starting to be an actor, or, you know. And then I arrive, and then I know all these things, and then I just see something new that a young student is showing me, and I discovered that, wow, it's about being learning from each other, from different, how people see things, or how different cultures also see things, you know, because fascinating, this constant research about the mask and the concept of the mask from
you're in New York visiting this time, and you have a talk at the American Academy?
Yeah, I will. Now I'm at Wagner College, which I have a dear colleague of mine and a friend who's directing a show there. Proof is the title of the show, and his name is David MacDonald. And then he's directing the show, and then I just came. I was in Canada touring also, so I came for 2 weeks to New York to advise him on movement and help him to set up a little bit of a language of how he is interested in moving this text and this set.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna visit Sarah Lawrence also, where I'm gonna visit some of the students and talk to the department, just to visit them. I've been there before, so it's nice to, you know, and also talk to the students about the School of Lecoq, because there is Sarah Lawrence since the 90s. They are having a kind of a collaboration or relation with the School of Lecoq, and every year they send 2 or 3 students to the school in Paris.
Nice.
So it's good to come back, and maybe people have questions, students that maybe are willing to join the school in the coming years, and then I bring some material and I can have a chat with them. We'll probably perform a bit, you know, just to have an exchange. Right. And then the American Academy also, where Dino Escopas is the teacher that I know, And then, by the way, I'm in New York. Hey, why you don't pass by and meet the students? I'm meeting people everywhere. That's fantastic.
That's great.
And then I will go back to Toronto next Friday, where I will do another little tour with in different schools. But also we are busy with another project that I'm creating, which is called Poetics or Survival, which is inside of the Manifesto Poetico, but it's about the climate change and social injustice, and so how we can meet or identify collectives and different areas where they have stories, where the communities they suffer about something, or they will like to have a way to tell their stories. And then the idea that we're gonna do, and hopefully we're gonna start in Montreal or Quebec area, which is to go there where they have stories and help them to create a language where they can get tools to tell their stories. And maybe they will do with puppets, or they will do with masks, or they will do with movement, whatever.
Is there a place that people can find out about your company?
Yeah, my website is manifestopoetico.com.
Okay, great.
Or my own name, Carlos Garcia Estevez.
Great. Carlos, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks.